4th and goal to go to 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. You want to help support my channel out? Description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And finally, just underneath that in the description box is another link. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 10,200 members in the group, and it is doing simply marvelous, my dear. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group on there 365. It's called the New York Giants, The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, here we are, guys. Here we are again. It's hard to believe, man. The 5th game we're at. I mean, we ain't got a bye week for about I think year 2027 or something. So the bye week's going to start kicking in, but not for the Giants. Not for a long time, right? Not for a long time. But this is obviously, as we get ready to preview, right? This was one of the games, and obviously this doesn't mean nothing, right? Any given Sunday, right, as we saw the Giants knocked off the Chargers. The undefeated Chargers got knocked off by the winless Giants, right? This was the one game, obviously, that we were looking at on the schedule. That was winnable. If you want, there were woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Cowboy game was winnable. The Chiefs game was winnable. I mean, we did not do very good against the Commanders, but the Commanders did not blow the doors off us, right? But looking at the schedule, right, when it came out, oh my God, we're playing the Commanders who went to the championship game, right? Then we're playing the Cowboys who haven't beaten them since Jesus Christ walked the earth. Then we got the Chiefs coming into town. Then we got the Chargers coming. Like, oh my God, we're going to start 0-4. Well, we were close, right? Then you finally saw the Saints and say, oh, well, there's a winnable game, But the thing is, the Saints are looking at the schedule and going, the New York Giants, there's a winnable game, right? So it is what it is. It's not so much, what do you call it? Sometimes who you play, it's when you play them, right? So the Saints, they've played relatively close competitive football. Okay. They had the one game we got a little out of hand, but they went toe for toe against the Bills, right? And the Saints are winless. Last time we played the Bills, we were in Buffalo. We went toe for toe against woulda, coulda, shoulda, and all. We should have beat the Bills, right? We went toe for toe. The Giants did. Wasn't this year though, but right. So majority of the games are very close. That's what the NFL wants. They want the parity. That's what they got. They got some very good football games, very close, very competitive football games, and usually it's a few plays here, a few plays there. That decides the outcome, right? It's going to be obviously a little difficult there now, or different, because now we're in the dome, the Nolans, the Superdome. It just, super loud in there, really, really super loud. The nice thing is that Jaxson Dart during his college career, he's played in some rather large and loud stadiums. So he's used to that. But Giants are definitely going to have to get their P's and Q's in order, right, on offense. Right, don't want no false starts or anything like that. I mean, the one it was just like we had the it was GVR. What the heck was it? We got down to the 2-yard line. Was it after Sexy's? I think it was. It might have been after Sexy's interception. He got down to the 3. I think it was. I don't even think we even snapped the ball. Penalty, false start. Now we're back to the 8-yard line. Right? It's like what the So, you can't be shooting. When you're not a good team per se, right? You have a very hard time winning, right? You can't be shooting yourself in the foot. Like one of the things that really helped last week was, as far as like with turnovers, the Giants didn't have any. We had a couple fumbles that we recovered, thank goodness, but other than that, we didn't have any turnovers, right? The Chargers, right, goes to show you, they had the 2 turnovers, which led to 10 points for the Giants. Was it 10 or might have been, or was it 11? Because we got a field goal, then we got a touchdown, then we got a 2-point conversion. So it was 11 points we got off those turnovers, right? I mean, you look at it, right? I mean, it was complimentary football. The Giants played very good complimentary football, last week. Offense did enough, ran the ball a lot, right? The defense pressure up the wazoo, right on Herbert. Got those 2 interceptions. Got the 11 points off. Because I said, you think about it, right? After the first drive of the game, we walked out it was 9 minutes to go in the first quarter, whatever it was after we scored the touchdown. The offense basically scored 3 points the rest of the game. Right now, we had we went for it on 4th down at the end of the game. If you could have scored a touchdown, they would have put us up by 10 points instead of just 6. I get it. I understand. That was a tough call. Do you go up by 6? Quite, because it would have been a very short field goal, right? So do you go up by 6 and leave that, if Herbert gets the ball and they walk down the field and they score a touchdown, they kick the extra point, we wind up losing by a point. Or do you go for it and you put yourself up by 2 scores and really, I don't want to say put the nail in the coffin, but really make it very difficult for the Chargers. So he went for it. I couldn't blame him either way. Yeah, if you wanted to kick the field goal because the defense was really playing good, put yourself up by more than a field goal and make them actually score a touchdown, I'm for it, But he went for it. The ball, I love what Dart did on that one play, right? I mean, you see, and he's just in the infancy, right, of his NFL career, right? The guy came in, he dodged, dived, ducked, dipped, and dodged, right? The 5 Ds of dive. But he got to the outside, Dart did, right? Bought himself some time and lofted the ball, right? Didn't gun it in there, tried to lofted it in there. Wandell went up, just got knocked out, right? Wandell was able to hold on to it. He had it, but just got knocked out. If he was able to hold on, that would go up by 10 points and really, but it is what it is. But, it was very complimentary football. The Giants are going to need to do that once again. The Saints, of course, I don't want to say a giant killer, but Taysom Hill is supposed to be coming back for his first taste of action. He's been out. Right? I'm gonna read a little bit of that, but he always seems to do very well against the Giants. And the thing is with him, let me see here. Let me read this. Where we at? Here we go. Here we go. Taysom Hill is set to make his 2025 debut. Saints announced that they have activated Hill from the physically unable to perform list on Saturday. Hill is coming back from a torn ACL that he suffered last December. Now, the thing is, because coming back from a torn ACL, a lot of times you may be not quite as good as you were, right? The problem is with Hill, okay, is he's not like Malik Nabers, right, where Malik is going to be on the field 95% of the offensive snaps. He just, Malik, there's the outside. That's where you're going to be lining up. We'll see you at the end of the game, brother. If you die, we'll take you off the field. Other than that, brother, you're on the field. That's not the way it is with Hill, right? He's like the Swiss Army knife. They got packages for him. He comes in there and he rips your head off. I mean, it's difficult. Whatever he does is very good. He's like the Scatterbill, right? He comes in there, and especially if he's got the ball, very tough to tackle. But he's not in there. If they put him on a drive, if it's a 15-play drive, they'll put him in there, then they'll pull him out. Then they'll put him in there, then they'll pull him. He's not the fullback for 15 plays. He's not, So when he comes in there, he's raring to just kill somebody. Absolutely, just whether it's a block, whether he throws a pass, catches a pass, runs, whatever. The freaking guy can do just about anything. And he does it balls to the wall like Scatterby does. Well, I thought when Scatterby's in there, he's in there for majority of the drive. So you still might get a little tired. But I mean, like with Hill, he goes in there and then he comes out. Then he goes in, then he comes, So unfortunately, we're getting the first taste of Taysom Hill. Congratulations, Giants. He's always seemed to do very well against the Giants. So. Plus, the Giants don't ever seem to do very well in the Superdome either. I mean, it is what it is, right? But then all the Saints have also activated. We're going to go over the injuries in just a second here. Hill's listed as a tight end, but the guy can do anything. I mean, he can throw a pass, catch a pass, right? Run the ball, block, whatever. Whatever you want the guy to do, he can do. And he's going to do it at he's not Barry Sanders. He's not Saquon Barkley where he's jumping over somebody. He ain't that. But whatever he's got inside of him, he's like Scatterbill. He gives you everything. He leaves nothing on the field. Right. Hill's listed as a tight end, but he's a jack of many trades during his Saints career. He caught 23 passes, ran for 278 yards and 8 touchdowns, and threw 4 passes for the Saints just last season alone. Okay. He has 8 touchdowns just last season. And, he caught 23 passes, ran for 278 yards, and he has 8 touchdowns. So whatever he does it at a very high level. Okay. Foster Moreau is a more traditional tight end, and he will also be activated from the PUP list. He's returning from a knee injury as well. The Saints put wide receiver Trey Palmer on the injury reserve and waived tight end Maliki Mataveo. I might have gotten that right. To make room for these 2 returning players. The elevated linebacker Iku Leota to the active roster from the practice squad to round out the day's moves. So, I mean, got to keep an eye out for, Mr. Hill. I mean, guy's a Swiss Army knife, and he's been there for a while, too. All right, where are we at here? All right, so, also one of the things the Giants have to do, the Saints always seem to have now Ruiz. Let me see here. Wait. Here we are. Now the Saints have 4 guys. So four guys ruled out. Cesar Ruiz, their guard, he's been ruled out. Okay. Right. But the Saints always have a very good offensive line. Let's try your all too. Now, one of the things the Giants have to do, and I mean, it sounds like almost like a broken record. They have to, watch out against the run. It's one of the things that they still have not done a very good job of is guarding against the run. Now, of course, we got some dude by the name of Alvin Kamara. Maybe you've heard of him. On the other side, he what do we got here? He's 30 years old. He's run how many times has he run the ball in his career? I just want to see how many touches he's had. I mean, this guy. I mean, where are we at here? Wow. 1, 2. He went to 5 straight Pro Bowls from 2017 to 2021. The guy was really a real special talent. But this is his 9th season. So he's going to start. He's starting to get a little wear and tear, hopefully. Right? He's had over 1,600 rushes in his career. And he has almost 600 receptions. So between receptions and running the ball, he's had over 2,200 touches, not including his college career. So, you get, once you hit like 2,000, I mean, that's where Saquon's at right about now, about 2,000, okay? That's a lot of touches, Now, he's averaging only 3.9 yards per carry, okay, which is certainly, down. I mean, he's usually averaging over 4 yards a carry, but he only has 1 touchdown. Alvin Kamara's got 65 carries, 256 yards. His longest is only 18 yards, okay? But the Giant, he's averaging 64 yards rushing per game, right? And then, of course, receiving. He has so far. What's he got? He's got 13 passes for 49. He only averages 3.8 yards of reception. So he's not really being lights out, okay? But they have Kendra Miller, who is averaging 4.4 yards a carry. Spencer Rattler will run occasionally. But they don't have – they got Devin Neal, a running back who's run the ball 2 times. And I said, then the other guy, they got Kendra Miller, who's run the ball 28 times. So I got about every 3 carries, Miller will run the ball once and Kamara will run it twice. Now, as I said, don't forget, Taysom Hill's not in here, has any stats yet. Okay, so he's gonna start getting some carries, right? But I said one of the things the Giants have had a problem with is still stopping the run. Now, why, what, who, where, when? I have no idea. Why the Chargers, was it 13 carries they had all last game? They had like 150 yards. You take out the Herbert scramble and the Hampton run, right? There was about 80 yards between those two. They still had like 70 yards rushing on 11 carries. I don't. I mean, they were down by 2 scores, but it wasn't like, they were down by 2 scores with like 3 minutes to go in the game. I mean, there was plenty of time to go in the game. I don't understand if you're gashing the other team with the runs, why don't you keep running the? I don't know. Especially Harbaugh likes to, especially when he was with the 49ers, he liked to run the ball. I just don't quite understand. I mean, I guess if you got Herbert there, you got a shiny toy. Right? Let the dude throw the ball. I guess I can understand that. But, I mean, I understand why they didn't run the ball more. So, now the Giants are a little weak up the middle. Okay, you know how like in baseball, you want to be strong up the middle with a good catcher, shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. If you're strong up the middle, especially if you have a good fielded pitcher, that's really special. That's really helpful. Well, the Giants are a little weak up the middle, obviously, because ever since we lost McFadden, DJ Davidson's been injured, Nacho's been injured. Now our 3 safeties are all. I believe everybody's going to go. Okay, I think Fowles has been declared out once again. Okay, so we're a little banged up the middle, right? So the Giants got their work cut out for them. I mean, it could be, Rattler hasn't done super phenomenal. What's he got so far here? Throwing the ball. Complete 67% of his passes. He has 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Right? It's not bad at all. Okay. He's 98 out of 146. But, they're 0-4. Okay. They do have some good wide receivers, especially Olave. Let's see, who do they got here? Johnson has 22 receptions for him. Olave has 26. Shaheed has 18 receptions. But the one thing is they got quite a few guys catching the ball. Brandon Cooks has 11 receptions. Kamara has 13 receptions. But there's not one guy on the whole team. Now, this is one of the things that also helps possibly where, with Rattler's 67% completion percentage comes in, and it's like, oh, that's pretty good. That's not bad. Completes 2 out of every 3 passes. But there's not one guy on the whole roster who's averaging 10 plus yards per reception. So, yeah, they're not completing long passes. All right, so, but he's been so far very good with the football, completing 2 out of every 3 balls. Only has 4 games, 1 interception. Pretty impressive. But they are 0-4. Okay. I said the Giants, have a hard time. They always seem to have a hard time in the Superdome. But hopefully it should be a good game. As long as nobody, as long as the Giants don't, turnovers would be huge. The Giants get them, or whether they, don't turn them off. That would be huge. I mean, that was a big turning point for the Giants last week. Right? We were +2, and we won by 3 points. So, all right, what do we got here? All-time series. This will be the 34th regular season meeting between the two teams, with the Giants having the lead at 7. The Giants have won 17 times. The Saints have won 16. The last the teams met last season in Week 14. That was the last time that the Saints won. Was Week 14 of last season. The Saints won. The Giants' most recent victory over the Saints was on October 3rd, 2021. So we haven't beaten them almost 4 years to the day, right? Because today's October 5th. Well, we beat them October 3rd, 2021. Let's see. When we defeated the Saints on the road in overtime, 27-21. That was a good game. Remember, we fell behind. And then Daniel Jones brought us back. We wanted tying it up, going in overtime. Saquon had a good caught a pass, faked some dude out, and took it off into the end zone. We wound up winning over. It was a very, very good game, very exciting game. Right. Let's see. Yeah, Flanagan Fowles, the inside linebacker. He's out with a hamstring. So we are a little weak up the middle. Right, and I said, especially our I'm going to go over the injury list a little more depth and detail in just a second here, but also our safeties are all a little banged up. They're going to play, but they're banged up, right? So, all right, what we got here. Dart hits the road. Jaxson Dart's first NFL start was nothing short of success. The 22-year-old rookie completed 11 of 20 passes, 13 of 20, got 11 of 20. It's 13 of 20. For 65%, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions for a passer rating of 96. He had an additional 54 yards on 10 carries, and if it wasn't for the one holding, now to be fair, I don't know on that one scramble that Dart had, whatever it was, I don't remember, 30 yards, 40 or whatever it was. Where at the end he took his throwing hand and he stiff armed the dude in the helmet with his throwing hand. And even Dart said afterward, yeah, that wasn't one of my best, my smartest decisions, right? True. But now I don't know, because that one got called back because of holding, I think, on John Michael Schmitz. Now, I don't know if the hold allowed him to scamper. Don't know, right? But Dart, he'll take off. He'll take off. The one thing I do like about him, okay, is that somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was pointing out, okay, was it Wiley? I remember Wiley, the former NFL player. Was mentioned he was comparing like Shedeur Sanders and Jaxson Dart, okay? He was saying one thing that Shedeur Sanders does, okay, which is really not very good, unless you're like a Michael Vick, okay? When you're in the pocket, okay, and maybe you don't have the first read right away or something, maybe they're covered or whatever, do you climb the pocket or do you bail? If you bail and you're not Michael Vick and you're more like a Shedeur Sanders, that's not good. Because these ends and all of that, they're going to catch you, okay? Good luck catching Michael Vick. I mean, good luck. But Shedeur would bail and he'd try to get outside, and all that, and make something happen. Jaxson Dart, what he does is, gets back in pocket, right? Feels a little pressure or whatever. He climbs the pocket, looks at a couple reads, right? And then, but if he senses there's like Moses, the parting of the Red Sea, and the angels sing, oh, right? And there's an opening, he'll just take off, right? That's one of the things about, climbing the pocket. Okay, you're looking. If you sense, something opening up in front of you, you just take off, right? So that's one thing, and that's something you don't want to take away from him. That's how he got where he is. You don't want to take that away from Jaxson Dart. If he runs, he runs. Just try to get down, slide. And if you're going to stiff arm somebody, please, not with your throwing hand, for the love of God. You start breaking a couple fingers here or something. I mean, say something you caught in the guy's ear hole or something, and you snap your finger and it goes whatever, or it breaks. I mean, it's not going to be as easy to throw the ball. Or if you get your fingers caught in his face mask and something, and you break a couple fast, something, it can be a little difficult throwing a football, especially if they got to be taped together, So let's be a little bit more smarter, okay? But I said, but you don't want to totally reel him in because that's who he is, right? I mean, it's like, Lamar Jackson. He's got a hamstring injury. I don't think he's playing. I don't think. But I think that was from a scramble or from a run. Well, yeah, that's how he got where he is. Do you want to take Lamar? Just don't run anymore. That way you won't get a hamstring injury. Yeah, that's how he got where he's at. That's why he's so special, because he can run, right? So you really don't want to take that away from him. But unfortunately, when running quarterbacks, they get hit. It is what it is. But, all right, let's see here. Dart's first drive as the starter. He led the offense 89 yards down the field, completing both of his pass attempts for 20 yards and rushing for another 28 yards, including his 15-yard touchdown run to get the Giants on the board. He became the first quarterback since Patrick Mahomes in 2017 to lead a touchdown drive of 80 or more yards on his first possession of his first career start. While Nolans has had some struggles slowing down opposing quarterbacks this season, especially on the ground, it's always a challenge to go into the Superdome and pick up a win as the road team. You ain't kidding. Offensively, we're going to have to do a good job of communicating, Dable said, from getting the play in to Jackson communicating to whatever snap count we choose to use relative to how the sounds are there, which is usually loud. You simulate and try to do the best you can here at practice, but it's definitely one of the keys in terms of being able to communicate and operate and stay on track and eliminate some of the pre-snap things that when you play in a dome stadium that's loud like this. So we're going to have to work at it out here, blasting as loud as we can. I mean, that's one of the problems. Is that you're trying to, emulate the soundness of the dome while you're outside. I mean, it's like, you can, blare some stuff, but until you're actually in the dome, it's a little bit different. Then, of course, filling in for Mr. Nabers, right? I don't know, Now, we're going to talk about this, too. It's also a bit odd because the Giants did not elevate anybody wide receiver. I'm going to talk about this from the practice. So I think we got 5 wide receivers going in. So, we got Darius, we got Wandale, we got Hyatt, we got Bo Collins, and we got Gunnar Olszewski. So, it's like we got 5 wide receivers. I thought they would have elevated somebody, but I guess not. said you just can't replace Malik Nabers on offense. The young wideout quickly established himself as one of the NFL's premier talents, and his loss is undoubtedly a tough blow to the Giants' passing game. Yep. Wando Robinson exploded for 8 receptions and a career high 142 yards against the Cowgirls in Week 2, showcasing his ability to line up both in the slot and on the outside. Now, you figure pretty much he's probably going to be in the slot. I mean, I know they have had Hyatt in the slot. Now, one of the things Hyatt sometimes he's getting off of, somebody right in his face. Okay. So, I mean, maybe trying to put him in the slot where you can get maybe a free release and just use his speed to just try to blow by the people. We'll have to wait and see. But a lot of times, Hyatt and Slayton are on the outside. So, Wando will be in the slot. It seems like anyway, most of the time. Right? Coach Groh does an awesome job of getting the guys prepared. Assistant head coach, offensive coordinator Mike Kafka said on Thursday, it's really just a next man up mentality, whether it's Bo Collins, Jalen Hyatt, or Gunnar Olszewski, right? But you kind of figure it may because Gunnar's obviously the return man. You're not so sure if you're actually going to see him on the field on offense, right? So basically, we have like 4 wide receivers, right? We got Slayton, we got Wando Robinson, and maybe Collins and Hyatt might, go in and out. But probably, I'm guessing Hyatt will get the majority of the snaps. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, if you all of a sudden you put Collins in there for one series, and all of a sudden it's like, he catches a pass, whatever it is, 8 yards, 10, whatever. It's like, all right. Oh, Collins caught a ball. All right, we're quarter and a half into the game, we put Collins in for one series and he caught a pass. If we're in there for a quarter and a half and Hyatt hasn't caught a ball yet, so maybe we'll try Collins in there. So if Collins can get a hot hand, him and Dart can get something going. Right, we'll have to wait and see. But I would imagine Hyatt's going to be out there first. Right. The pass rush gets going, so. I mean, the thing is here, though, is that let me see. Does it show how many sacks they've given up so far? It's been sacked 9 times in 4 games. So, Rattler gets sacked twice a game. I mean, we sacked Herbert twice last week, but we hit him about 800 times, though. So just because you only sack him twice a game doesn't mean you can't get pressure with him. But the Saints' offensive line is usually pretty good. They got the one guard, Ruiz, who is out, okay, which will help. But I think the Saints' offensive line is in a little better situated than the Chargers was, right? So it's not going to be quite as easy to get at Rattler, although, no pun intended, it might be easier, see what I'm going to do here, to rattle the Rattler. See what I did there? Huh? Than it is Herbert. I mean, Herbert's just, seasoned veteran now, right? He's seen a lot. He's played a lot, right? So, but maybe we can rattle, right? Rattler. Maybe get him to throw an errant pass or something like that. But as I said, he's only, Rattler's thrown 1 interception all season long. Herbert threw 2 interceptions last week alone, right, from all the pressure, right? So it'll be key. It's going to be key, right? Trying to keep Kamara under control so he doesn't wreck the game, but also, keep Rattler, I don't want to say he's been going, because he has completed 67% of his passes, but as I said, nobody on the team is averaging over 10 yards of reception. So he's completing a lot of short passes, right? So the Chargers quarterback last week was under duress for the most of the games. The Giants got pressure on an impressive 47.7% of his dropbacks, led by 20 total pressures from their 3 outside linebackers alone. Herbert managed to complete just 5 of 19 passes for 80 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception on plays he was pressured. So Pressure is huge. Carter led the way with 8 pressures as the number 3 overall pick. Now has 19 pressures on the season. Good for the 9th most in the NFL. Not too bad for the 3rd overall pick, huh? Meanwhile, Burns and Kayvon each picked up a sack in last week's win, with Burns now up to 5 on the season. The 27-year-old is tied for the most sacks in the league through his first 4 weeks of the season, which has not come as much of a surprise to head coach Brian Daboll, who saw him take his game to another level dating back to the spring. So they got players to watch, right? Wan'Dale Robinson, Giants won't be able to make up Malik Nabers' absence with just one player alone. Nope. However, Robinson stepping up in the passing game would go a long way to helping the passing attack make up for at least some of Nabers' usual production. Through the first month of the season, Robinson's 18 receptions matched Nabers for the team lead, while his 27 targets and 237 receiving yards ranked second. The 4th-year wideout could emerge as the team's new top option in the passing game, starting this weekend in New Orleans. As I said, let's not forget, this is a contract year for him, right? He's going to want, whether it's for the Giants or whether it's for another team. This is huge for, Hyatt, huge for Robinson, right? Because it's like, if he can, step up his game, or keep it going as well as it's been going, right? At the end of the season, if Shane is still here, right? You don't know, or whoever the GM is, right? Look at it's like, well, we lost Nabers and Robinson's still trucking along. Boy, that guy's whether Nabers is there with Robinson or whether Nabers is out and Robinson is very, very reliable. We might want to make sure we try to keep this guy. Let's get this dude under contract, right? I said, or if not with the Giants, if he can put up another great season like he did last year, right? Now he could take over the team lead as far as targets, right? He was second fiddle last year behind Nabers, although he got a ton of targets last year, right? Between Wan'Dale and Nabers, they had over 300 targets between the two of them. This is huge. Not huge for Hyatt, but it's also huge for Robinson too. Right? We got Paulson and Debo versus Chris Olave. Now, Debo's. But obviously, this is right. Debo coming home, right? It's the team that we got him from. Right, Saints. He's going to want to show up on this one. He's had a couple opportunities to catch interceptions. Nothing so far. So this might be a real good time to show up. Pick off a pass or so, right? Get some passes defense, right? Not only that, but it's also talking about Dart as well, too, because everything you hear, right, from all of the so-called gurus, which I am not, said if you took Dart in the top 10, it was going to be a little bit of a reach. But early second, maybe late first round might be a more appropriate place for him to go, which is where he wound up going. He traded up the Giants. Yeah. Now, one of the things was, questionable, was when pick number 9 in last year's draft rolled around was, the Saints could use a quarterback, right? They passed up on him. So, Dart has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, too. He thought there was a possibility the Saints might take him, right? Well, they took Shuck in the second round. Shuck fell to him. That's where they took him, okay? But the Giants went up and got Dart, right? So, so the Saints didn't go out of their way to grab Dart, right? So he has a little chip on his shoulder there, so. And then, of course, Alvin Kamara. Can we keep this guy, right? Brian Daboll told the media Wednesday that it will be all hands on deck to try to contain Kamara on Sunday. The talented dual-threat running back has taken 65 rush attempts for just 256 yards, 3.9-yard average, and a touchdown this year while adding 13 receptions for 49 yards. So he's like a little over 300 yards on the season. Right? Well, this might be less production than we're accustomed to seeing from the 30-year-old running back. Make no mistake, he is still a dynamic threat, and the Giants will have to keep a close eye on. Oh, absolutely. Without question. Make sure he doesn't destroy the game. Now, obviously, he's on the back end of his career. I mean, he's been around, his ninth season. He's had over between running the ball and receptions, over 2,000 touches. That's a lot. That's a lot of wear and tear on the body. Right. So he's on the back nine of his career. Okay. But still, you give him a hole, the Giants, gap, let a hole like what they did last week with Hampton. Whoever was supposed to fill that gap, whether somebody didn't get out far enough or somebody didn't squeeze in far, whatever it was, right? Can't have that happen because you can't have, you can't give a bad team hope. Can't give a bad team life and all that stuff and everything. You got to just take their life, take their heart, their soul, take the life out of the stadium and all that, right? So hopefully, should be tough to say if it's going to be high scoring or not or anything, but I'm sure it'll be an entertaining game. I don't really see either team blowing either team out, but that's why you play the games, right?